You know, there's something wrong with this Hunter Biden story. It's not stacking up for me. I was thinking about it all weekend long over the July 4th holiday, and things are not what they seem to be. So, as some of you know, I spent a lot of my career investigative reporting, and I did major stories on the assassination of John F. Kennedy, which led to my book, Killing Kennedy. I blew the lid off Aspen, Colorado, which was back in the late 1970s, transshipping cocaine all over the country. I did a number of stories on corruption, including New York City marshals. For that, I won an Emmy. So investigative reporting is in my blood. It's what I like to do most. But beginning in 1996, I became a commentator and couldn't really do investigative reporting because it takes a lot of time, and I didn't have that time. But here, I'm going to make an exception, and that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Hunter Biden and his father, Joe Biden. What is their business relationship? That is a question that remains unanswered. And it's an exceedingly important question. This whole story reminds me of Watergate. It's coming down parallel lines. So let's first do the timeline on Hunter Biden. His alleged tax evasion, which he has now admitted to, began in 2018 as far as investigations at the federal level are concerned. The allegations go back to 2015, maybe even earlier. But in 2018, the federal government, the IRS, and the Justice Department started investigating. Jeff Sessions was the Attorney General under Donald Trump. He was only in office for a few weeks when this Hunter Biden investigation began. And then William Barr took his place shortly thereafter. So Barr was supervising the investigation, which was centered in Wilmington, Delaware. Okay? So Barr didn't say very much, and neither did President Trump. You remember, it wasn't the investigation, and I understand. You got to start to assemble the information, and from what we know now, it was hard because Hunter Biden, Jim Biden, the president's brother, set up what they call shell corporations, wired money through places like Malta. It was very complex to get to the heart of this matter. So the fact that Trump and Barr didn't say anything about it doesn't surprise me. I don't even know if Trump knew what the extent of this was. So Trump loses the election. Barr resigns from the office of Attorney General. Before he left office, Barr held a press conference. Roll the tape.
I think to the extent that there's an investigation, I think that it's being handled responsibly and professionally currently within the department. And to this point, I have not seen a reason to appoint a special counsel, and I have no plan to do so before I leave.
By that point, Barr should have known there was something dirty about this. And remember, he did not appoint a special counsel to investigate allegations of fraud in the election either. Though he could have done that and should have done that. Absolutely should have done that. He should have appointed two special prosecutors. One to look at allegations of fraud in the election. The other to look at what the deuce was going on with Hunter Biden, because it was 2 years at that point. But Barr didn't. Not good. Now, again, we've asked Barr to appear. He will not. He'll go on a podcast that you never heard of. He will not come in here. So what does that tell you? Okay, so then Merrick Garland takes over. And he is directly supervising David Weiss, the U.S. attorney in Delaware. Weiss is making progress and asks for the U.S. Attorney in Washington, D.C., a man named Matthew Graves, okay, and the U.S. Attorney in Central and Southern California, a man named Martin Estrada, there they are, to partner with him, share information about Hunter Biden's business dealings. Graves and Estrada refuse. Who is the Attorney General? Merrick Garland. He could have ordered Graves and Estrada to cooperate with David Weiss. Key point. He could have ordered that all three U.S. attorneys cooperate and share information. Any honest attorney general would have done that. Why not? If David Weiss in Delaware needs information from California and Washington, D.C., you deny him that? That's what Merrick Garland did. I find it very shocking that Graves and Estrada would withhold information from their colleague in Delaware. Don't you? Don't you? Why would they do that? Equal justice under law, right? Okay. So Garland is already into this up to here. It gets worse for him. All right? Up to here. Because he's not proactively running this case. And he should be. He's the boss. Okay. Then we get into Bill Barr's book. So, of course, he writes a book. And on page 302, 304, he talks about Hunter Biden. Let me quote from the book. In 2014, the vice president's son, Hunter, was virtually with no relevant experience, had received a lucrative position on the board of Burisma at the time when the vice president, that's Biden, had the lead in the Obama administration's push to get Ukraine to step up anti-corruption efforts. Although Hunter Biden's position was obviously a sordid instance of monetizing his father's office, the vice president did not violate the law because federal conflict of interest laws do not apply to vice presidents, unquote. But that's bull. We're not talking about conflict of interest. We're talking about alleged bribery. So Barr now sinks deeper, in my estimation, into the morass. Doesn't appoint a special prosecutor, could have. Now he's given Biden an out on conflict of interest. It's not about conflict of interest. It's about bribery. Why was Burisma paying Hunter Biden all this money? What did they want? And did any of that money find its way to Joe Biden? These are unanswered questions. Okay. Garland then continues on in his role as Attorney General, and on and on and on. Okay? 5 years. 5 years. 2018, 2023. Then finally, on June 20th, a plea deal is announced, and everybody in the country who's honest knows that Hunter Biden got away with it. They all know. So here's what Garland said on TV. Go.
The Hunter Biden investigation, as I said, even in my own nomination confirmation hearing, is being run by and supervised by the United States Attorney for the District of Delaware.
I'm aware of that, but he reports to you.
He is supervising the investigation, and I'm not at liberty to talk about internal Justice Department deliberations, but he is in charge of that investigation. There will not be interference of any political or improper kind.
Again, bull. It's not about interference. It's about helping get to the bottom of the matter. So both Barr and Garland, right now, as it stands, in my mind, ran interference for Hunter Biden, Republican and a Democrat. Okay. So what happens now? Two whistleblowers have come forward. Gary Shapley, IRS supervisory agent, flat out says Justice Department didn't want to know what Hunter Biden did. Flat out says it. And then there's another guy who is unidentified who's backing up Shapley. Also, there is an FBI informant who's come forth as a whistleblower who is saying the same thing, that the Justice Department didn't want to know. That's what this is all about. They didn't want to know. And they put up roadblocks to avoid getting information they should have easily gotten. Easily. Not a hard case. Once you get through the banking records, and remember, Justice Department has subpoena power. You can go anywhere in the world to look at this. Because the House now, with the three committees investigating, they've got those banking records. Tell me the Justice Department couldn't get them after 5 years? Of course they could. Of course they could. Okay, so there are three House committees, since Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, and the Justice Department won't do anything. And this guy, David Weiss, it looks to me to be an order taker. I'll tell you about him in a moment. He put out a statement Friday night when everybody was on vacation. Unbelievable. Anyway, House Oversight, Comer. House Judiciary, Jordan. House Ways and Means, Congressman Jason Smith is the chair. So you got three now, three committees. They're going to haul these guys in, including Christopher Wray, the FBI chief, and all they're going to say is, I can't talk about it. It's under investigation. Can't talk. Can't do it. Can't talk. That's what you're going to get. Maybe you'll get a Fifth Amendment. I doubt it. I can't. That's what you're going to get. So these guys are never going to admit that they were in a tank for the Biden family, which they were, in my opinion. Okay, so Friday, this is so weird. Everybody's traveling. Everybody's going for the long weekend. David Weiss, again, the U.S. Attorney in Delaware, in charge of the case, who put forth the lenient plea deal to Hunter. He's responsible for all that. He writes a letter to Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan. Here is the pithy part of the letter, quote, "At this juncture, I'm required to protect confidential law enforcement information and deliberative communications related to the case. Thus, I will not provide specific information related to the Hunter Biden investigation at this time," unquote. Okay? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So Weiss is involved with it too. He's covered it up. I'm not going to tell you what we have, what we didn't have. Now they'll haul Weiss in. They'll say the same thing. I can't. Justice Department regulations, I can't. So it is left to the three congressional committees and the press to find out what the deuce is actually happening here. The press has no interest in this at all. None. Except for me and a few others. And I'll get to the bottom of it, believe me. And you should tell your friends and family and everybody else, this is a big story. This is Watergate redo. Same thing in Watergate. They tried to protect Nixon. Mitchell went to jail. The Attorney General, John Mitchell, went to jail because he lied and obstructed the investigation into Nixon's cover-up of the Watergate break-in. That's why Mitchell went to jail. Nixon would have gone to jail for what he did in the Oval Office. He would have gone to prison if President Ford did not pardon him. The chairman of the Fed is promising more pain ahead. Last year, stocks dropped a whopping 20%. 2023 could be worse. You are right to be worried. So call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Since I've been a client and spokesperson, the price of gold has appreciated more than 35%. So please call today and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. They have thousands of satisfied customers and have the highest rating in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Please tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $5,000 of free silver on your first order. Please call 866-501-5201. That's 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.